Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR 25 career mode here on the channel. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we take on Texas Motor Speedway as we are bringing in a level 7 engine, and as well we would hire another employee to get more R&D points to therefore allow us to get a level 7 body coming into this weekend as well. And we have finally an opportunity to get a new sponsor here if we finish in the top 32. That is the goal today. Finish top 32 and we will get Grillo's Pickles as a sponsor, which that's just going to allow us to get a little bit more funding into this team, and that's going to be very beneficial every race. So I think a top 32 is very doable. We are now kind of getting towards the top 20 running positions on a relatively consistent basis, so I don't see why we can't do that here in Texas this weekend, as we would jump into the Boost Energy Toyota Camry this weekend here on track in practice now, just behind the number 6 RFK driver of Brad Keselowski now on this opening lap of practice on Saturday afternoon. And right off the bat, fairly happy with the speed that we had in this number 85. So I was only a little bit off my goal, about half a tenth of a second. At 31.849 was the goal. We ran to 31.9. So yeah, there was some decent speed, but my one problem was I was watching the 6-car drive away, so I knew that, okay, we probably don't have as much speed as we would like to have, but it's still overall not too far off, and that's kind of the goal coming into these episodes here, is just get a little bit closer and closer to these quicker cars every episode, and I feel like we're making some good strides towards that. So overall, like I said, pretty happy with where the car was here in practice, and I was already ready to get into qualifying and focus in. Kyle Larson was at the top of the board here in practice now, as we were actually P27. We weren't even dead last in practice. As we come through, however, into qualifying now, ready to set a hot lap now, and not expecting an incredible qualifying effort, but I feel like a top 25 is definitely doable here this weekend now as we hit the track and head down into turn 1. Such a unique track to drive here in NASCAR 25 Texas Motor Speedway is now, but you just gotta, stay through into 5th gear and throttle up, open up the exit, head down this back straightaway, and as you head down into turn 3, of course, you just want to hug that white line now as you get down into the center of the corner right here. Actually kind of clipped the apron a little bit, no big deal, as we were able to keep the car under control as we exit turn 4, down the front straightaway to the line. What is it going to be? P23. So we do get the top 25 goal that I was kind of hoping for right there. So that puts us in a really solid position. It's Kyle Larson on pole position here this weekend from Texas. Now, Larson has been off to a very strong start to this weekend at the top of the board in practice and qualifying. Connor Zilish, Riley Herbst, Cody Ware, JJ Yaley, and Chad Fincham all at the bottom of the grid. Now it's time to go racing here Sunday afternoon from Texas Motor Speedway in this Boost Energy number 85 Tricon Garage Toyota Camry now, as we get ready to hit the track. Now the flyover, the gents come over, hold on, they beeline it, hook it 90 degrees left, and now go over the pit lane. Actually, it's more like a 45-degree angle they're going on, and we get into our car, and we're ready to go racing for 67 laps of racing here from Texas behind the 21 of Josh Berry. The green flag is out, and we're underway from Texas. Kyle Larson and William Byron lead the field to green as we head down into turn number 1. 20 laps of racing here in this first and opening stage. Michael McDowell off there on my nose to the right front now as we continue on into turns 1 and 2 now, and expecting kind of the same as usual here, where we're kind of lacking a little bit of speed on the short run, and then we kind of make up for that as the run goes on. The longer run, we usually seem to settle in pretty well and start to make some decent headway through this field, so I'm expecting that's going to be what we have here today as well. Now, as we've got Carson Hocevar looking to my right rear now, he's got his Spire teammate of Michael McDowell just behind him as well as we head down into turn number 1. I feel like Spire, and you guys can agree or disagree, but I feel like Spire, they have 3 cars, and it almost feels like that whole team operates like separately. Like they don't feel like they're teammates at all with how they race each other. You know, I mean, if you're teammates with Carson Hocevar, it's going to be hard to race with him anyways. But it feels like that entire team is like 3 separate teams in one. They don't really properly work together. I feel like that they could really benefit by, you know, having a better dynamic going forward now as we head down into turn number 1 here behind that 71 of McDowell, and he was up there ripping the top. You see, look at the 43 of Jones, Suarez as well. They're all jumping way up the racetrack, and that is just such a slow strategy around Texas. The higher you run in Texas, the worse you're going to be. Now, one of the few mile and a halves where you just cannot make the outside work, obviously, with the way the track is. So you got to run the bottom. I mean, you can kind of get away with the middle lane, but you can't really go any higher than that. So that 3rd, 4th, 5th lane, obviously, it's just like no man's land. You don't want to be out there now. So we've got some help from John Hunter Nemechek, and that's going to allow me to make some forward progress now on the 54 of Ty Gibbs, as we've got the 24 of William Byron out in front. So Kyle Larson might have been on pole position, but he didn't last very long out in the lead of this race now as we continue to fight with this 54 of Ty Gibbs through 3 and off of turn 4. We'd be side by side all the way through to lap 7, exiting turn 2, as we've got help now coming from the 71 of Michael McDowell to push us back forward into turn number 3, still trying to fight past this 54 of Ty Gibbs here behind this 99 of Suarez, and we will clear Gibbs off turn 4. That puts us into P23 now, as we'll try to get past this 99 car in the next few laps now. Lap 9 of 20 at this point, and we are right on the back of the Freeway Insurance 99 Chevrolet down this front straightaway. Now, one of my favorite paint schemes right there in that number 99. Of course, I'm a little bit biased as a Daniel Suarez fan, as that's a diecast that I still need. I don't have that diecast. I didn't get a 2025 Daniel Suarez car, so I definitely need to get on that now. Usually, like when my driver's losing his ride, like I usually don't buy their diecast. I just kind of wait for their new team to, you know, drop a diecast. But we'll wait and see if I change my mind on that now, as we've been repassed by Ty Gibbs, and now Michael McDowell's to my inside. So now we're spending lap 12 going in the wrong direction, as I even clipped the wall there on the entrance to turn number 3. So we've dropped back down to P25, but not going to give up hope here. We're going to continue to fight forward now, and Gibbs is continuing to go forward. He's past Hocevar, and Carson Hocevar late in this stage is kind of falling back to myself and Michael McDowell a little bit now as these laps continue on here. We've got Zane Smith behind us, and it's John Hunter Nemechek and Shane Van Gisbergen the next few spots behind myself, as Byron has dominated this first and opening stage now, and he's got just 3 laps to go in stage 1 as he crosses the line. So can we get to McDowell and Hocevar before this stage comes to a close? I am looking for some adjustments at the conclusion of this stage, because the car was pretty tight. So that's been a common thing that we've been dealing with, where in qualifying it's all right, but then in the race it's like, okay, yeah, we got to free it up. So we're just trying to get to the end of this stage here as we start the final lap. William Byron's already leading down into turn 3, and I am continuing to just kind of bleed time as these laps go on. And I know we've got better pace in this car if we can get some adjustments to make this thing freer. So we're going to get a little bit of a shove there from John Hunter Nemechek as William Byron takes stage number 1 as we head down into 3 and 4, just waiting for 10th place across the line right there. P25 it is in stage number 1. So we're going to come into the pits, get 4 tires and fuel, of course, but we're at 50.0 on the wedge. We are going to go down, I would go down actually to 48. So we would go 2 full rounds on the wedge down to go to 48.0, which I think is going to be a really good call here going forward into stage number 2. It's been a really interesting race so far here, but I'm hopeful that you know, we continue to have a really solid effort. Kozlowski loses 14 positions in the pit, so a few drivers move up, and now we are P24 for the start of the second stage here. Now Shane Van Gisbergen lines up just behind me. Green flag is out, and it's 1 extra lap of racing here in stage 2. We got 21 laps overall as we head down into turn number 1. William Byron, your stage 1 winner, leads the field to green here as we are side by side with the 34 on the exit of turn number 2 down this back straightaway. And Todd Gilliland's going to go forward now. Shane Van Gisbergen just took us 3 wide into turn number 3. Aggressive move there from the 88. We kind of pinched the nose on him, and he forces I force him to kind of back out of it now is Brad Keselowski as well, just behind the 88 of Van Gisbergen. He's going to be trying to go back forward with 20 laps to go here in the stage. We've been turned, head on into the outside wall. SVG contact on the right rear, and caution is out, and we have got major damage that we're going to be forced to come in to repair. 18 seconds of damage. And in that moment, I thought I got right hooked, but if you see it right there, I kind of came up and I just made a little movement to the right, and SVG was kind of turning left, and we just kind of came together. In the moment, though, like I said, I didn't realize, I didn't even notice that I had made a little movement to the right, so I was 100% convinced that SVG just turned left and hooked me in the right rear, and into the outside wall I went. So definitely wasn't happy about that at this point, because now we just wasted laps. Now we're back to 40th position. We've got to work our way forward. I did take 4 new tires as well, so we do have a little bit fresher of a tire, but certainly not very thrilled about what just happened. But I wasn't, like, you know, out here seeking revenge or anything, because I felt like, you know, that was just kind of like, you know, I don't think that was really intentional. This kind of happened. So we'll kind of let it slide as we continue on, as we exit turn 4 now, and obviously we're gonna have to just, you know, put the throttle down and work our way forward here, and try to get ourselves back into at least the top 32, which is the goal, to get the Grillo's Pickles sponsors. We're gonna go 4 wide through the middle for about 37th place now as we go down this back straightaway. The racing, I mean, it is, I mean, so hard back here. I mean, they have always talked about it in real life. The drivers always say, you know, racing, you know, towards the midfield and the back of the pack is harder than it is up front usually. Now everyone just races you so hard. We're to the inside of Shane Van Gisbergen, who's dropped out of the top 30, but I'm going to pass him on the inside here down this back straightaway in towards turn number 3. See a little bit of damage on his left front. I wonder where that came from, as we continue on now, passing him, and as well as Austin Dillon to the inside of Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and we're continuing already into the top 30. And actually, look who's behind me, helping me forward. SVG is actually giving us a shove forward now. So Van Gisbergen's trying to come through this field with me at this point, as William Byron continues to lead this field here down the back straightaway into turn number 3 as he continues to dominate this race now. Kyle Larson had him taken care of in practice and qualifying, but not quite here in the race now, as we continue to have help from this number 88 of SVG down this back straightaway now. Lap 11 of the stage. SVG actually is going to get to my inside here into turn number 3, but we're able to carry enough speed with as well a tire advantage that we re-clear him on the exit of turn number 4, and we'll get to the outside of Cole Custer, but eventually would get back in line behind him. And now we're going to follow him down this back straightaway here on lap 12. We've been turned to the inside, and it's SVG. Van Gisbergen turns us down the back straightaway the second time we've come together, and the caution is out. What do you even say? I just want to see a replay, because I know I didn't move this time. That was me. Yeah, he literally just drove into my left rear and turned me around. So now I'm under the impression that I've just been dumped twice by Shane Van Gisbergen in one race, and now I'm out for revenge. I said, absolutely not. We're going to settle the score right here, right now, because as a young driver that comes into the Cup Series, you don't want to be like Joey Logano of the 2009 to like 2012 era, where he was a very talented young driver, but he would get pushed around all the time by Cup Series veterans because he would never push back, and they knew they could use him up. We are absolutely not going to allow that to happen here. And once Logano started fighting back, well, guess what happened? He became the villain, and people stopped pushing back against him, except for maybe Matt Kenseth now, as we come through to lap 16, coming to 17, and now I'm just looking for the 88 of SVG. We've got a significant tire advantage now because nobody pitted right there, so we have got like you know, a 15, 16 lap difference on tires in our favor, so we're going to be able to absolutely rip. And there is the 88 of Shane Van Gisbergen right there in front of us, a few car lengths in front. So I was seeking him out as we went down into turn 3, splitting the middle between Gregson as well as the 35 of Riley Herbst. Don't forget, this is a Rookie of the Year battle we're having with Shane Van Gisbergen. But as we head down the front straightaway, he is leaving a lot of room, and as we head into turn 1, he runs all the way up to the wall, making sure I can't get payback on that 88. So I literally couldn't do anything there. He just moved out of the way. He gave up 3 spots just to make sure I didn't wreck him. So as we now say, okay, I'll probably see you again later, and then I'll get you back then. We just focus on going forward now here at the end of stage 2 to the inside of the 99. Todd Gilliland here as well. This will put us into this top 25, coming to just 2 laps to go in stage number 2, and we should be able to maybe get to both McDowell and Nemechek, and that's probably as far as we're going to get here at the end of the second stage. A bit of a shot to the back bumper from that 34 of Gilliland now into turn number 3, and we focus in on that 42 now. 2 laps to go on the inside of John Hunter Nemechek into turn number 1, and we'll clear him fairly easily right there, and we'll continue on, and as well coming to the white flag to the outside of Michael McDowell. We'll pass him, and we might be able to get as well Austin Cindric. So P21 is possible here, and once again, I mean, you see we got speed. We do have that significant tire advantage, but I mean, this is kind of where we were running to begin with earlier before all the chaos kind of happened. An absolute disaster of a second stage. I mean, you could not ask for a worse second stage in the Cup Series, but William Byron leads through 3 off of turn 4. He is going to sweep the first 2 stages. Since he's taken the lead, he is yet to lose it, and we'll end up P21 as 10th place, crosses the line and brings out the caution to end this second stage. We're all going to pit for 4 tires and feel. I was contemplating some adjustments as well. I felt like we could maybe loosen up the car a little bit more, but obviously the priority is just the 4 tires in feel. I was thinking about it. I'm like, do I want to do the wedge or not? I don't want to risk going a little bit too loose, so I would decide to stay at the 48.0. And will maintain track position here, P21, as Christopher Bell actually wins the race out of the pit lane. New leader in that number 20 car as the green flag is back out. The third and final stage is officially underway here from Texas Motor Speedway now. Lap 42 of 67. It's going to be 25 laps to go when we come back around one more time to cross the stripe into turn number 1. So William Byron was on the front row, P2. He's dropped in behind Kyle Larson. So this is going to be the opportunity for Kyle Larson to get himself back out in front of this race. I think if he can pass Christopher Bell, this is a real opportunity for Larson to take re-control of this race and maybe actually just run off with the win here potentially. Of course, Larson 1 win on the season, Christopher Bell 2 wins. He's the only multi-time winner this season. We of course saw him pick up the win in Phoenix and then just a few episodes ago. So he is, like I said, the only driver that's managed to find victory lane more than one time. His Penske teammate Austin Cindric finally won last episode in Talladega. So Ryan Blaney, the only Penske driver without a win. You saw me really move out of the way right there for the 6. I was afraid he was going to wreck me. We do have a new leader. It's the 5 of Kyle Larson. He in fact did get past the 20 of Christopher Bell. So Kyle Larson into the lead of this race and in control, and he's going to try and run away with the win now as we are dropping back a little bit here down to P24 behind the 42 and the 71, and now we've got a mirror full of the 34 of Todd Gilliland as well as we exit turn 2. Still over 20 laps to go. We do have to pit here in stage 3 under green or under caution, whatever it might be here with 20 laps to go in this race. We've got 16 laps of field, so it's a bit close, but yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting. We have not yet seen a caution for a crash outside of myself. So we'll wait and see if that comes to a change at some point here in this final stage. Now, as we're within the final 20 laps of racing at this point, and there goes the 2. Cindric into the outside wall. Caution is going to fly, and that's going to put everybody inside the pit window. So everybody's going to come in and get their 4 tires as well as fuel. How is Cindric in front of me? I passed him well before the caution even came out there, but it doesn't matter. He'll be P23 as we all come into the pits for 4 tires one more time, as well as fill it up on fuel and get ready to go green for this restart. So to my surprise, they all took 2 tires. So they took 2, I took 4, meaning we dropped down to dead last. Now, I'm not against this. I think this is honestly going to help me more than it's going to hurt me overall. We've still got 16 laps to go, and I feel like we should be able to make up all that track position and then some. I feel like we can probably get a top 20 with a strategy like this, which we were kind of on pace for like a 21st to 25th. So I think this is going to help us more than it will hurt us. But, I mean, of course, we got to work our way through this field now as we roll through 3 and 4. Kyle Larson was able to hold on to the lead through the pits and onto the restart. So it's going to be hard to pass that number 5 once you give him that clean air, as we're to the back of the 51 of Cody Ware now. And hello, Shane Van Gisbergen, as we exit turn 2 down this back straightaway. And, I mean, we're right here with them. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm going to wreck them, but as we head down into turn number 3, the car just plows, and we turn the 88 of Shane Van Gisbergen, and the caution's going to come out again here in stage 3. Please apologize to the 88 team. I don't know what happened there. I just got really tight. You hear my apologies. Yeah, I just plowed into turn 3. The car just got really tight. I think the dirty air maybe from whoever was in front of me got on the nose, and I just, went straight. So really unfortunate timing and unfortunate spot for SVG to be in. But as we get ready to go back racing here, Kyle Larson's in control, and, I didn't need that caution because I need green flag laps to be able to make up the track position we gave up by taking 4 tires. But we still have 11 laps to go, and, I guess now we have settled the score with Shane Van Gisbergen. I prefer, if you can, to settle the score in the same race where it needs to be, where it kind of ignited. So I felt like we did a good job of that right here today in Texas now. But now, okay, the beef aside, let's actually focus in on salvaging this race. And we're going to start by going 3 wide around the outside of Connor Zilish and JJ Yaley in the 44 as we head down this front straightaway, as Kyle Larson continues to lead now as we go 4 wide through the middle there on Austin Cindric, who's outside of the top 30 after that crash earlier. Now as we are going to get some nice help from him down this back straightaway into turn number 3, and now we're already nearly into the top 30, coming to 9 laps to go. Look at the ground we can make up through turns 3 and 4. We are continuing to move forward very fast into the top 30, now passing a bunch of cars into turn 1, including the Spire duo of the 7 of Haley and the 77 of Hocevar, and now almost into the top 25 before we've even hit lap 60. And sure enough, as we come through to lap, still lap 59 through 3 and 4, we do enter the top 25. And then as we head down into turn 1, we're already going to be passing the 71 of Michael McDowell. So all we need, remember, all we need is a top 32 to get the new sponsor of Grillo's Pickles, but we are exceeding that expectation as we head down this back straightaway into turn number 3 behind Noah Gragson. So I think a top 20 is very realistic even without a caution. I think we can make this happen as we're now to the outside of the number 4 to the back of the 43. Jones runs way up the racetrack now, so we would be 3 wide briefly as we'll pass him and still fight alongside this 4. We had one heck of a fight recently at Bristol with the number 4 of Noah Gragson, and we're kind of having that same fight with them here in Texas now as Kyle Larson continues to lead in control with just a handful of laps to go now as we continue to fight with this number 4 of Gragson down the front straightaway. 5 laps remain here from Texas now, and that top 20 is looking a little bit less likely now, but we got to pass this 4 and we got to clear him right here on the exit of turn 2. We've got help from the 43, which is going to be very helpful, and now we would run down both Daniel Suarez and 20th place of John Hunter Nemechek with the help from the 43 pushing me forward with just 4 laps to go here in this race. Kyle Larson hoping we stay green to the end now as we're to the inside of the 42 Dollar Tree Legacy Motor Club Toyota. Now 2 midfield Toyota teams working together right here at the end of this race, and Jones pushes us through into the top 20 here in these closing laps. Now Jones, he would stay with me, coming to 2 laps to go. He is still pushing us forward, and we have run down, both of us have run down Josh Berry, and we'll get to the outside of the Wood Brothers Ford Mustang. 2 laps to go as we come through this trial. Well, now can we get the 21 and maybe even go after Ryan Preece and his boss of Brad Kozlowski here before this race is over? Now to the right side again of this 21, and we get so tight there on the exit of the corner that it kind of stunts my momentum. Now we'll be dead even down the back straightaway into turn number 3. White flag is waving. Can Kyle Larson make it before yellow? Through the tri-oval, clear of the 21 for us. Larson takes the white flag. This race is official as we come through the tri-oval to cross the line. 1 lap to go for this number 85 Boost Energy Toyota Camry. Now just a few more corners to go and P19, and I don't think we're going to get any further than that. I think we're just going to have to settle for 19th, which is very, very solid for considering how this day went. From 2 crashes, some payback on Van Gisbergen, and we rebound through to the top 20. Kyle Larson will become the second multi-time winner on the season. He takes victory from Texas as we head down the front straightaway and will come home for a 19th place result. Very, very happy with that one, and we will get a new sponsor finally of Grillo's Pickles. And you see Hamlin actually ended up second over Blaney Bell. Byron dropped all the way down to P8 there at the end of that race. Now as you see the rest of the order scrolling through, Van Gisbergen actually rebounded relatively well after getting turned around, so he ends up 29th. Zilish and Ware at the very bottom of the grid here to round out this race from Texas. And we'll take a look at the standings to cap things off, and as well the sponsor Grillo's Pickles. There it is, it's official. $53,000 per race. That pays about $5,000 more per race than our previous sponsor of Technique. Right now Chastain's the last driver in over Keselowski and Gibbs. They're both tied there in 17th and 18th. We remain at 24th in the standings. We didn't lose or gain anything in the points, but Kyle Larson now takes over the top seed in the playoffs here to round out today's episode over Bell and Hamlin. That does it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one. Another 1.5 miles of Kansas. That's going to be a really fun one, ripping the wall. I can't wait for that. I'll see you guys then. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.